guys, Jack back to the channel. Today we've got some March Madness predictions. I'm just gonna be going through my March Madness bracket for this year. Yeah, it's an interesting bracket, so you guys will definitely see here in just a second. Before I get into this video, my team is not in the tournament. No, I'm not a Duke fan. No, I'm not a Kentucky fan. I'm a South Dakota State Jackrabbits fan, and unfortunately, we did not make the tournament this year. Thanks, Oral Roberts, for that one. But yeah, I'm gonna go through this tournament. I guess we're gonna start off here in the first four. Just gonna go through these games really quickly. Pretty much the entire bracket I'm gonna go through pretty quickly. And yeah, let's start off with the first four. So we got Texas Southern and Mount St. Mary's here in our first game. I'm gonna go with Texas Southern in this one. Then later on that night on Thursday, we've got Drake and Wichita State. We're gonna go with the Shockers in that one. I'm gonna go with Wichita State, obviously. And then on the next night, we've got App State taking on Norfolk State. We're gonna go with the Mountaineers to win that ball game. And then the most interesting game by far here in the first four, we got UCLA and Michigan State. A lot of people think that UCLA should have probably been in the first four buys. Unfortunately, they are in this game. It's a very tough game here against Michigan State. I'm gonna lean ever so slightly to the Bruins. I think UCLA will barely be able to get the job done. And now let's get into the actual tournament. And real quick, folks, if you have not yet, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. We do these predictions for various sports. For example, I did get the Super Bowl right at one, the very beginning of the year, and two, at the start of the playoffs as well. So there's that. But yeah, let's now go to the tournament. Okay, so I mean, some of these games right are kind of self-explanatory, but we're gonna go through them real quick. Starting off in the West region, Gonzaga taking on App State. I think you know where this is going. The Mountaineers. I'm joking. Gonzaga continues the undefeated run. Next up, we got Missouri and Oklahoma. I'm gonna take Oklahoma. I see a lot of people taking Missouri, but I think the Sooners will be able to barely get the job done in that one. Next up, we've got UC Santa Barbara taking on Creighton. Another game that I see a lot of people taking on, or taking UC Santa Barbara in this one. I think Creighton, though, is just a better team. I know they're coming off that big blowout loss against Georgetown in the Big East championship game, but I think Creighton, I mean, they should be able to beat Santa Barbara in this one. Next up, another one where I've seen some people taking the Bobcats to beat Virginia. Virginia's going to win this game. I really don't see anything coming out. I don't think the MAC champions are going to be able to win this one. Yeah, Virginia's going to be too much for Ohio. And then now we've got Wichita State taking on USC. I mean, USC's a very damn good team, man. I mean, Evan Mobley out there. Yeah, USC's going to win this game. Evan Mobley will be the best player on the court that night, and they're going to win that game. And then we've got Eastern Washington taking on Kansas. Yeah, Eastern Washington's solid coming out the Big Sky. Of course, they won that conference. Kansas is going to win this game, though. Again, another one of these where, like, it's Kansas. And, of course, you got the powerhouses in this tournament. You got Kansas, who is a 3 seed. North Carolina is, what, a 9? Or they're an 8 this year. And you got Kentucky and Duke not even in this one. Kansas, though, should have enough to barely beat Eastern Washington. And then, probably the toughest one out of the first round here in the East region, we've got Oregon taking on VCU. I'm going to take the Ducks in this one. Coming out of the Pac-12, VCU lost to St. Bonaventure in their championship game over there in the Atlantic 10. But yeah, I think Oregon's going to be able to do enough in this one. They're going to get the win. And then our final game here of the first round here in this region, we've got Grand Canyon University taking on Iowa. Iowa's going to win this game. Luka Garza is one of the better players in college basketball. He will be the best player on the court that night. I'm going to take Iowa with a blowout. So that's the first region, the West region here in this one. So now we will be heading to the East region. First up, Michigan, Texas Southern. Obviously, Michigan will win this game. Now we've got the 9-8. We've got the St. Bonaventure Bonnies taking on LSU, and I'm gonna take the Bonnies to win this one. I really like this team taking on LSU. They just beat VCU to win the Atlantic 10, and yeah, I really like St. Bonnies to win this game. Kyle Lofton having a really good year so far. Really solid core at St. Bonnies, and I think they're gonna win this game against LSU. Next up, we got Georgetown, Colorado. Obviously, Georgetown just made this big Cinderella run. They won the Big East at MSG. Patrick Ewing's their head coach, obviously, taking on Colorado, a team who just played in the Pac-12 championship game, just lost to the Pac-12 Cinderella story in the Oregon State Beavers. Should be a very close game. I think it's going to be a good game. I'm going to go with the Colorado Buffaloes, though, to win this one. They played really well in the Pac-12 tournament, don't get me wrong, except for the finals. And even in the championship game, they did give Oregon State a pretty good run in that one. Colorado's a very good team. McKinley Wright, very good guard for the Buffaloes, and they're probably going to win this game. Next up, we have got UNC Greensboro taking on Florida State. I'm gonna go with the Seminoles, obviously, I think, to win this one. They're a pretty big favorite for a good reason. We're gonna go with the Noles to win this game. Next up, we've got BYU taking on UCLA. This is a tough game, don't get me wrong, for BYU. Whoever they do end up getting in this one, it's gonna be tough. Michigan State, UCLA, two very damn good teams, but I'm gonna take BYU to win this game, though. I mean, I really like what I did see out of BYU in the championship game against Gonzaga. I know they did end up losing that game, but something that happens with BYU, they play very well in the first half usually of games. They do seem to fall apart in the second half. I mean, the big example is the Gonzaga game. I do, though, think they're better than UCLA. They're better than Michigan State. BYU will probably go on to win this one. Next up, we got Texas, the Longhorns, taking on Albany Christian. The Longhorns are going to win this game. Texas, very solid team. They should not have trouble with Albany Christian. Next up, we got Maryland taking on UConn. Gonna go with the upset pick here. I'm gonna take Maryland. I just think their defense is too good, honestly, for UConn. Again, Maryland coming to this game with a very good defense. Play really solid down there. I think they're gonna win this game against UConn. And the next up, we got Iona taking on Bama. Alabama's gonna win this game. Yeah, I mean, they're 17-point favorites for a reason. Bama's gonna win this one pretty easily. So that's the East region. Let's now move on to the South, and we'll start off here with Baylor and Hartford. Baylor's going to win this game. You're not going to say UMBC version of Hartford in this game. Yeah, no, Baylor will win this one pretty easily. Next up, we've got North Carolina taking on Wisconsin. Odd to see the Tar Heels this low in the bracket. It's going to be a close game. Wisconsin's a very solid team, but I think UNC is going to be able to get the job done in this one. You got Garrison Brooks on this team. They are very good. They are going to win this game. Next up, we've got Villanova and Winthrop, and I'm gonna go with Winthrop. All right, this is my big upset pick here. They're gonna beat Nova. Colin Gillespie is injured. That's a big hit to this Nova team. Winthrop's gonna get the job done here in the final game on Friday night. I'm really big on the Eagles. And yeah, we're going to go with the Winthrop Eagles to go upset Villanova in the very first round. A team that was very solid this season, by the way. Winthrop only losing one game, I do believe, in the regular season. Very good team over there. Next up, we got the Purdue Boilermakers taking on the North Texas Mean Green. I'm going to go with the Boilermakers to win this game. Coming out the Big Ten, Purdue is very solid. They're very underrated in a Big Ten that is stacked with really good teams. For example, Ohio State, Illinois, Michigan. But yeah, don't sleep on Purdue in this tournament. They're going to beat North Texas in this game. Next up, we got the Texas Tech Red Raiders taking on Utah State. Utah State did lose, it was in the finals of the Mountain West tournament to San Diego State, but they did get an at-large for this tournament. And I'm going to take the Utah State Aggies to win this one. I really like this team as an underdog, as an 11 seed to upset the Red Raiders in this one. Yeah, Matt McClung and Texas Tech will go down in the first round to Utah State. Next up, we got Arkansas, the Razorbacks taking on Colgate. I'm going to take Arkansas on this one. I know they got bounced pretty early, or they got eliminated pretty early in the SEC tournament. This team is still pretty solid, though. In Arkansas, they will beat Colgate in this first round. And now next up, we will have yeah, we've got Florida taking on Virginia Tech. Another game that is really close. A really close 7-10 game. Of course, Florida is without Keontae Johnson for this tournament, or for the rest of the season, obviously. That being said, we're going to go with Virginia Tech to win this game. Like this team as a 10 seed, we're going to pick them to win this one. And then here we go. We got Ohio State and Oral Roberts. Thanks, Oral Roberts, for beating South Dakota State with that buzzer beater. The semifinals, the Summit League tournament. Of course, the Oral Roberts are the Summit League champions. They did beat North Dakota State in the final of that one as well. But yeah, Oral Roberts does have Max Abmas. He does lead the NCAA in points scored, and Oral Roberts will put a lot of points on the board. They are a very high-scoring team, and that's what they got to do to beat Ohio State. So that being said, I'm taking Ohio State to win this game. Now, don't get me wrong, this is probably, out of all the 2-15 matchups, this is the game that, if you're going to see an upset, it's going to be this one. Oral Roberts, again, puts up a lot of points. They got to get into a shootout with Ohio State. It's not going to happen. Ohio State, the Buckeyes, are going to win this one, and that finishes out the South region. Next up, we have the Midwest, and we will start off with the #1 seeded Illinois fighting Illini, taking on Drexel. I mean, Illinois got one of the better players in this tournament, of course. Kofi Cockburn in this one, probably maybe the best, one of the best centers, obviously, in college basketball. Illinois is winning this game, probably by a blowout. Next up, we've got Loyola Chicago Chicago taking on Georgia Tech. Can Loyola Chicago bring together any more of this magic, the sister gene magic, here in the first round against the ACC champions in Georgia Tech? Really liked how this team played towards the end of that tournament. Surprising to me that Georgia Tech is the underdog in this game. I know Loyola Chicago did have a very good regular season. Georgia Tech was solid, was average in the regular season, really turned it on in postseason. I know they only had to play 2 games to win the entire tournament due to the COVID testing, but still, Georgia Tech, I think they're going to be able to get the job done this one. I really like this team as an underdog. Plus 2.5 currently the line is for them. I really like that. Georgia Tech will probably win this game, continue their momentum into the first round. Next up, we've got the Tennessee Volunteers taking on the Oregon State Beavers, and somehow the Beavers won the Pac-12 championship game. And you know what? I'm taking them to win again. Plus 7 underdogs in this game. Oregon State, they're definitely going to cover, and I definitely think they're going to win this game. Okay, not definitely, but I think they're going to win this game too. You're coming off that incredible Pac-12 tournament, the Tournament of Champions. Oregon State winning the Pac-12 for the first time, I believe, ever, or for a very long damn time. I think the Beavers are going to be able to get the job done here in this 12-5 matchup. Now we've got the Oklahoma State Cowboys taking on the Liberty Flames. I'm going to say it right now, I'm taking Liberty to win this game. I really like this Liberty team coming out the Atlantic Sun, and I know what you're going to say. Oklahoma State does have Cade Cunningham, who's going to be the #1 pick in the NBA draft next year. That being said, Liberty is, I would say, maybe the best defensive team in the nation. This team plays really good defense. You're going to see a lot of low-scoring games out of this Liberty team. Their best player and star player is, of course, Darius McGee. He's only 5'9", but he does play really good defense as well and scores, I think, scores about 16 points for this team as well. The Flames are going to get the job done in this one. They're going to pull off another upset like they did a couple years ago when they did beat Ole Miss. I like this team to get the job done, pulling off the upset against Cade Cunningham. And again, this might be a game that's a trap game for Oklahoma State. You might see a lot of this in the media. Oklahoma State not putting up a lot of points against Liberty, because Liberty, don't forget this, plays incredible defense. They are going to lock down this Oklahoma State team, and I'm going with the Flames to pull off probably the biggest upset I have called so far. Next up, we have got San Diego State taking on the Syracuse Orange. I'm going to take San Diego State. Very close game here in the 6 versus 11, but I'm going to roll with the Mountain West champions in this one here in San Diego State. Next up, we have got West Virginia taking on Morehead State. West Virginia, not the ending they wanted in the Big 12 championship game. Ended up losing that game by 3. They had the whole game-tying 3 that hit, but it was like a second late. Yeah, I think West Virginia is going to be able to get the job done. They got Derek Culver on this team. Very spectacular player in him. The Mountaineers are going to be able to win this game. Next up, we got Clemson taking on Rutgers. Rutgers, man, team that was really hyped up going into the season. The thing that's going to stand out is their 1-7 record against top 25 teams in the nation. That is not good, and Clemson will probably win this game. Another year that a lot of people thought Clemson was going to be a lot better. Rutgers did solid, but I think the Clemson Tigers will win this game. And then finally, we've got Houston taking on Cleveland State. Cleveland State coming back to the tournament for the first time in over 10 years, winning the Horizon League against Oakland, I do believe, in their finals. Cleveland State, a solid team, but Houston is a lot better. Houston's going to win this game probably by a large margin. Now this is where it gets interesting. Starting in the round of 32, we've got Gonzaga taking on Oklahoma. I'm going to go with Gonzaga. Obviously, Jalen Suggs is leading this team. Gonzaga is probably the best team in this tournament. Definitely top 2. They're undefeated. The undefeated season will stay alive against the Sooners. Creighton and Virginia, close game for me on paper. It really is. Creighton is good, but Virginia is good as well. Of course, again, Creighton didn't like what we saw in their finals, in the finals of the Big East tournament, but I'm gonna take them to beat UVA in this one. Ever so slightly, I'm gonna take Creighton. Next up, we got the Trojans of USC taking on the Kansas Jayhawks. I think Kansas is too good for USC in this game, and I know Kansas has not had the best of experiences in the past in the NCAA tournament, but they have enough to beat USC in this one. And then finally, Iowa and Oregon. Luka Garza should be able to eat down low against this Oregon team. He will be able to. He's gonna put up a lot of points in this game, and the Iowa Hawkeyes are gonna move on to the Sweet 16. Back down to the East region. We will start off here with the Michigan Wolverines and the St. Bonaventure Bonnies. I know what you're seeing on the screen right now. Yeah, we're taking the Bonnies. All right, St. Bonaventure, a team that really, they just play their starting 5 pretty much for basically the entire game. Their offense and their starting 5 play together the entire damn game, and I'm going with the upset. I am not sold on Michigan, to be honest with you. I really think they are the weakest out of the 4 1 seeds, and I really like St. Bonaventure, man. I really think this team team is good. The Bonnies and their team that basically just has a starting lineup that plays basically their entire game. We're going with the Bonnies and Kyle Lofton to win this first round game. Jaron Holmes, by the way, a very good guard as well. I think this team is going to be able to get the job done against Michigan. So that's your first really big upset pick. And now we got Colorado taking on Florida State. Another one of these games could go either way for me, but I'm taking Colorado to get the win. Really like this team, and I know, again, they lost to Oregon State, but I'm going to take them to beat the Seminoles in this one. We got BYU and Texas. Again, another one of these games, very close for me. Going to take Texas. I do like BYU, but I think all around Texas is the better team. And then Maryland, Alabama. Nothing against Maryland, but Alabama is a whole lot better than Maryland in this game. Alabama will probably pull off a really big win in this one. You might expect this game to be over by the end of the first half. And back to the South region, we will start off here with Baylor and UNC. This is where North Carolina's run will end here. Baylor is the all-around better team. Feel pretty confident in saying so. Yeah, Winthrop and Purdue. I'm taking the Winthrop Eagles. I like this team, man. They are a very solid team. They score a lot, and I think they're going to be able to outscore Purdue in this game. Yeah, this is the big Cinderella run, folks. We're taking Winthrop to beat the Boilermakers. Arkansas, Utah State. Okay, Utah State is a good team, but Arkansas is better. Moses Moody, Justin Smith, Jalen Tate. This team is very good. They will be able to outscore Utah State, I think, in a pretty big margin in this game. And then finally, we've got Virginia Tech taking on Ohio State. Again, OSU is probably going to win this game. OHIO. The Ohio State Buckeyes will beat Virginia Tech in the round of 32. And we will close out the round of 32 now, back down in the Midwest region, starting off with Illinois and Georgia Tech. Again, I really think very highly of this Georgia Tech team. You got Moses Wright on the squad for Georgia Tech. Very solid team. Had a really good ACC tournament. This is where the run goes to an end. Illinois will win this game. They're just too much for Georgia Tech. Now we've got Oregon State taking on Liberty. We got a 12-13 game going on here. Taking the Flames. The defense, again, the defense for Liberty will be able to contain the Oregon State Beavers in this one. I would probably expect Liberty to be the favorite in this game if this game were to happen. Don't get me wrong, Oregon State, very solid team. Guys such as Ethan Thompson, among others. I'm going with Liberty to win this one, man. I really am. The defense is going to be too much. Expect a very low-scoring game, like all Liberty games are, but the Flames will pick up the win. San Diego State and West Virginia. I'm not sold on the Mountaineers. I'm really not. I'm taking San Diego State to win this one. Coming off a really good Mountain West tournament. I think they beat Pat McAfee's alumni here in West Virginia. We're going with the Aztecs to win this one. And then finally, Clemson and Houston. Yeah, Clemson's solid, but Houston is by far the better team in this game. Houston will probably put a pretty big beating on Clemson in this one. Clemson is just in the spot because they ran to Rutgers in the first round, and I feel like that's one of the bigger locks this entire bracket. Clemson is beating Rutgers in the first round, and they are immediately going to lose to Houston in the second. So now it is Sweet 16 time. We're starting off here with Gonzaga and Creighton. Creighton's all right, but Gonzaga is a whole lot better. If someone's going to be the team to beat Gonzaga, it's not Creighton. It's that simple. Creighton's not beating Gonzaga. There's no shot. There's no shot. It's that simple. That's how I'm going to put it. Kansas and Iowa. Very close game. Really close game on paper. Kansas is a very good team. Iowa is very solid as well. And I'm going to go with the Jayhawks to pick up the win in this one. I think we're going to be able to find a way to stop Luka Garza down low. Udoka Azubuike down there as well. I like this team in Kansas. Of course, Jalen Wilson's on the squad as well. I like this squad in Kansas. I think they're going to be able to contain Iowa and pick up the win. Now in the East, we've got probably the most surprising Sweet 16 matchup you're gonna see. I don't think anyone else is probably picking this. You got St. Bonaventure taking on Colorado. Gonna go with the Bonnies here. If we're gonna pick St. Bonaventure to go this far, they're not losing to Colorado here in the Sweet 16. I'm telling you, Kyle Lofton is the man down there. He puts up a lot of points, dishes out a lot of assists. He's a very good defensive player as well. Pick up a lot of steals. Don't forget Jaron Holmes in this team. The Bonnies just play the starters and it works. St. Bonaventure picks up the win here and they move on to the Elite Eight. Who saw that one coming? Now we got Texas and Alabama. Like both these teams, I really do. I think Texas is a very solid team. Alabama, of course, really solid as well, coming off a very, and I mean very good SEC tournament where they eventually did go on to win that one. Bama's held them pretty tight so far this season. They beat Arkansas a couple times. I think they did lose to them once as well, but yeah, Bama is very good. Very solid team. I know they started off a little bit shaky, but I think they're going to be able to get the job done. Herbert Jones does it all for this Alabama team. Very good with boards, very good defensive player as well. Pick up a lot of blocks, pick up a lot of steals in this one. Alabama's defense will be too much to win this game, and I think they're going to beat the Texas Longhorns. Now, on to the South region, we have got Baylor and Winthrop starting us off. And, I mean, yeah, I'm taking Winthrop. Okay, again, another one of my huge... It's a Cinderella team, man. Again, kind of like St. Bonnie's, I'm taking Winthrop all the way, not to the finals, maybe? Probably not. I'm taking Winthrop to win this game, man. Again, I like what I see out of this team. They're 23-1 in the regular season. They lost one game by 2 points. This team puts up a lot of points. Now, can they beat Baylor? I know this is a little bit of a stretch here, but I really like this team. They don't have one big star on this team. They play a lot of guys on this damn team, usually run a very deep rotation. I'm sure this is probably going to shorten up when it comes to the actual tournament, but around a 13, 12, 11 man rotation you're going to see for this one. I think for Winthrop, I think this team's gonna be able to get the job done, man. Again, not one star. A lot of guys, they have 5 different players who do put up 10 points per game. Winthrop, the all-around team effort will go out there and they will beat the Baylor Bears. Oh my goodness, I can't believe I'm doing this. Yeah, Jared Butler and the Bears are going down here in the Sweet 16. And then finally, here we've got Arkansas and Ohio State, OHIO. Their run is coming to an end. The Arkansas University Razorbacks will be picking up the win here. I have them going on to the Elite 8. Again, I like this Arkansas team a lot, man. I've spoken very highly of them in the past, and we're gonna go with them to take on Winthrop. Yes, in the Elite 8. What a matchup. Now, in the Midwest, we're going to start off here with Illinois and Liberty. Yeah, Liberty's run's coming to an end in this one. The defense is good, but Illinois' offense is absolutely incredible. I just don't think Liberty's going to have enough defense pieces to take down Illinois in this game. It's that simple. They will be outmatched in this game. Give it to the Fighting Illini. And now we've got San Diego State and Houston. Tough game for me to pick. We're going to go with Houston, though, to barely edge out the win in this one, rounding out here in the Sweet 16. On to the Elite 8. These are the 8 best teams, I guess, here in college basketball, starting off with the Gonzaga Bulldogs and the Kansas Jayhawks. Don't get me wrong, Kansas is a very good team. A lot of solid players on this team. Gonzaga is going to win this game. They're all around just the better team. They put up a lot of points, and they're going to win this game. Kansas sometimes will struggle. I mean, okay, history, I think it's going to repeat itself. Kansas, when they get to these big points, they get to the best teams in the country, they lose. Gonzaga will win this game. Jalen Suggs and company will win this one, moving on into the Final Four. And our next matchup here comes in the form of the St. Bonaventure Bonnies and the Alabama Crimson Tide. Imagine this one. This feels like a game that Alabama would schedule at the very beginning of their football season. But yeah, it's time for St. Bonnies and Alabama, and we're doing it again. St. Bonaventure to the Final Four. I'm sticking with this team. It's a really interesting approach that St. Bonaventure is probably going to take going into this tournament. 5 guys, they play a lot. 5 to 6 guys, they play a lot in each game. They really don't use their bench. It's that simple. They're going to go out there. These 5 guys, or these 5-6 starters that they're going to use are going to come in this game and they're going to beat Alabama. Kyle Laughlin is going to lead this team to victory. And yeah, the St. Bonaventure Bonnies are going to the Final Four to take on Gonzaga. What are we doing? Well, I mean, here we go. Now we've got the Winthrop Eagles and the Arkansas Razorbacks. Yeah, Winthrop's losing this game, man. I wanted to keep sticking with them, but I got Arkansas on this one. I can't bring myself to say that Winthrop is beating Arkansas. It's not going to happen. Again, Arkansas, a very good team. I know they had a very disappointing end to the SEC championship run. They lost to LSU. It's not going to happen here. They're not losing to Winthrop. It feels like a trap game. It is a trap game, but Arkansas is too good. You got too many good pieces on this team to lose to Winthrop. Moses Moody, Justin Smith, Jalen Tate. This team is not going to lose to Winthrop. Arkansas to the Final Four. And our last Elite 8 matchup is between the Illinois Fighting Illini and the Houston Cougars. Close game on paper, but Illinois, I really feel like, is probably the best team in this tournament. I'm not going to lie. I really like this team, man. A lot of good scorers on this team. Illinois is probably going to run right through Houston. And actually, I wouldn't say run right through them, because Houston, don't get me wrong, a very good team, but Illinois is all around the better squad. And we're moving on Illinois into the Final Four. So here we go. Final Four. We have got the Gonzaga Bulldogs. We have got the St. Bonaventure Bonnies. We have got the Arkansas Razorbacks and the Illinois Fighting Illini. One of these things are not like the other. Let's go to the Final Four. And here we go. Gonzaga and St. Bonaventure, the Bonnies versus the Bulldogs. And the Bulldogs are going to win this game. Gonzaga going to keep the undefeated streak alive here against St. Bonaventure. We love the St. Bonaventure Cinderella story. It's coming to an end here against Gonzaga. Gonzaga is just so much better than St. Bonaventure. St. Bonaventure's tactic of using their 6 players or 5, only 1 guy coming off the bench, it's going to catch up to him against Gonzaga. Gonzaga is one of the deepest teams here in this tournament. The guys 1 through 13 can all play when they need them to. Gonzaga's going to win this game. The shooting's going to catch up for St. Bonaventure. These guys are not going to be able to play 38 minutes against Gonzaga. Trust me, I like where the St. Bonaventure team is going. The Bonnies are a very fun team to watch. But the Gonzaga Bulldogs will be heading on over to the national championship game. And here we go. Who will play Gonzaga? We have got Arkansas taking on Illinois, and I'm going Arkansas. I like the matchup a lot for Arkansas in this game. Don't get me wrong. I said Illinois is probably the best team in this tournament. Things happen, man, and I like Arkansas in this matchup. I really do. I feel like Moses Moody gonna have a really good game in this one, and I'm going with the Razorbacks, man. Again, I usually don't like taking a team who just got upset in their conference tournament, but I really like where this Arkansas team is going. I know they have lost multiple times in the season. Teams such as Bama, Oklahoma State, LSU. It does not matter at this point in the season. You're going game by game, and in this game against Illinois, I like Arkansas. Going with the Razorbacks to take on Gonzaga in the national championship game. So it is time for the national championship game, Gonzaga and Arkansas. Good game, man. It really is. Again, making this bracket, real quick before I give you the final prediction, making this bracket, it took me multiple attempts to get to this point. My first run at it, I don't know what I was doing. I had Colorado winning it. That was purely a joke. Colorado is not winning this tournament, or hey, maybe they will, but no. This is my third time running through this bracket. So the first time I had Colorado, it was basically a joke that I was just messing around. The second time, I did have Illinois winning it. So I had the Final Four. I had Zaga. I think I had, I forget who I had playing Zaga. I think I had Zaga, Bama, I had Illinois and Arkansas, and I took Zaga to beat Bama, and I had Illinois beating Arkansas, and then I had Illinois beating Gonzaga. I think Arkansas is going to be able to win that game now, though. I really do think that's going to happen. So we are down to Arkansas and Gonzaga here in this finals. And part of me thinks Arkansas is going to end the undefeated season. I think that's what's going to happen. I don't think Gonzaga is going to go undefeated this year. I think Arkansas will find a way to beat them in the finals. And yeah, I'm taking the Razorbacks to go win the national championship game. Didn't think this is where I was going. I really didn't think, I didn't think we were going to do this, but I'm putting all my faith into Moses Moody in this tournament, and I think they're going to win this one. It's that simple. The Razorbacks are going to be your national champions. And folks, thank y'all for watching this NCAA tournament March Madness prediction here on the channel. Again, it's March Madness. Anything can happen. Hell, maybe Oral Roberts will go on to win this tournament. Oh, I hope that doesn't happen. But, I mean, again, it's March Madness. Anything can happen. I'm really just trying to pick based on matchups and what I think could potentially happen. Again, I think most likely Illinois will probably win this thing. 2 Gonzaga, and then I'm going 3 Arkansas. But again, that's just based off like how good the teams are. I think, again, in a March Madness style tournament, anything can happen, and I think the way this tournament's gonna swing is gonna be in favor of the Razorbacks, if that makes any sense. Again, March Madness, it gets very complicated. It gets very difficult to predict who's gonna win. Again, anything can happen. 1 seeds get knocked off pretty easily, 2 seeds as well. I mean, yeah, again, anything can happen. And I'm going to go with the Arkansas Razorbacks to win the entire thing. Hopefully, they are the first team that I actually pick to win the entire damn thing and actually get it right. So, folks, thank y'all for watching. If you have not yet, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below for more content here on the channel. If you are new to the channel, we do a lot of gaming, sports gaming videos here on the channel. Also, I'll probably get my MLB predictions out very soon. So, be on the lookout for that one. Again, folks, thank y'all for watching, and Mamba forever.